Have you ever asked yourself why the fake beheading rumors started with the first appearance of Jihadi John? Until then, no one questioned the authenticity of any previous beheading video. Prior to that, the Islamic State has filmed and released dozens of uncut and uncensored and brutal beheading videos. None of them show any signs of fakery, but all the Jihadi John videos all show signs of fakery. Have you ever asked yourself why Jihadi John is always filmed in remote deserts unlike all the other ISIS personnel? Have you ever asked yourself why Jihadi John has never been seen anywhere close to ISIS-controlled territory in Raqqa, Mosul and Tikrit? I will tell you why. Because emwazi is working for the CIA and not the Islamic State. Here is that evidence. The first time emwazi appeared on video was the alleged James Foley execution, released in summer of 2014. Many have since analyzed and compared the real James Foley to the actor in the execution video, and concluded without any doubt that the person in the video was not James Foley, but an actor supposed to impersonate him. They look and speak completely differently. They shaved the head of the actor and told him to distort his face while speaking, expecting people to assume that those were the reasons why he didn't look like the real James Foley. Why they would start with an actor is up for speculation. It is extremely easy to make one person look like another. The CIA does it all the time.
Dalton Fury is used to disguises. In fact, in 2001, his entire team transformed itself in Afghanistan.
Everybody has their beard grown. Everybody's wearing local Afghan clothing, sometimes carrying the same weapons as them.
Even now, we can't tell you his name or show you his face. We hired a theatrical makeup artist to take the former Delta officer through a series of transformations to create the man you see now. He calls himself Dalton Fury, and he's the author of Kill Bin Laden.
Because no matter what, they're just expecting me to walk in the door looking like President Bush. In fact, some of them think that I naturally look like the president. Even if they've seen like the videotape, something happens in their head and they're expecting me to walk in looking like George Bush. And they'll be looking at me like, so you're the guy that's going to be President Bush? And they're like looking at me, and I'm, yeah. I said, don't worry, Kevin will make me look just like him. And they're still not like, yeah, but you don't look like him right now. I'm like, hey, don't worry.
I just want to say hi. Appreciate you. Appreciate your being on the touch, keeping the halls safe. America needs safe halls. A lot of halls are dangerous. You make this one safe. God bless you.
Let me say that as your president, I am adamant about immigration reform. I recently spoke with Mexico's new president and drug lord, El Grande Diablo.
The first 5 Jihadi John videos have another thing in common. None of the beheading videos show cuts in the skin or blood during the what I call the throat massages. And all of those videos fade to black before they proceed to show a easily faked one-angled picture, and in some cases one-angle video of the decapitated body. It is on record that the CIA has been present in Syria and Iraq in summer of 2014.
The CIA has been training Syrian rebels at secret bases in Turkey and Jordan.
The CIA is involved in the Syrian civil war.
Most of these trainees were actually Sunni extremists who want Sharia law and thus want to overthrow secular governments like the one in Syria. The CIA has been helping with funding and with weapons to these terrorists, and they kept helping them until there were so many of these armed fighters that they got enough power to take over Mosul and Tikrit in Iraq. Thus the Islamic State was born. But it did not stop there. Even today, they keep airdropping supplies and weapons to the Islamic State fighters. And whenever they get caught, they just claim it was a mistake.
You see right there, there's that whole package, and obviously some of it is damaged as it lands. God, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. I also wouldn't want to be anywhere near this guy. That's smart to point the weapons at it. This is on A3Mac News, the unofficial media arm of ISIS. How can we not trace that? I'm always confused by that. So some of the... Okay, there he is, just manhandling grenades. Okay. I guess they know how to handle grenades better than I do, but I wouldn't be within a 3-mile perimeter of that box. So as you can see here, there are many, many boxes. He's going to go ahead and also get more weaponry here. I don't know the technical terms of what these are, although I know I wouldn't mess with any of it. Here he goes. Okay, he's like, yeah, let's open this thing up. Let's see what's inside here. He's lucky there wasn't a surprise inside there. Oh yeah, more grenades. Yeah, let's drop that. Yeah, see how that goes. Okay. And he just says something about mujahideen. So yeah, he's like, I think basically it appears he's saying, thank you for helping the mujahideen. Well, we're here to serve.
Now you know that the CIA is helping ISIS, but why would they help edit propaganda videos for them?
Okay, so you've got more fighters joining you every day?
Every day. From Turkish border, from every border they come to us.
President Barack Obama of the United States has launched airstrikes against your forces in the past couple of days. Has that hurt your ability to fight?
No.
No?
No. It only motivates us. And also it brings more Muslim to our cause. This is perfect. We have many people here. We have I think between 2,000 or 3,000 only Westerners in our ranks right now. In Doha they pray American troops so they can fight them. And then come here and miss the wifey and the doggy and stuff while we slaughter them.
So, since Mohammed Emwazi is a CIA agent, he will never be caught. And he will never make a video or interview from Islamic State territory. He will just use his fame to help ISIS recruit more members. Most of his videos are actually filmed in studios using green screen, while some are done in the same desert where they filmed for the movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats. The most recent one, with the 2 Asian reporters, is the most obvious example. Using fans to simulate wind, and 2 studio light sources to make it look like shadows from the sun. They failed really hard on this one.
I'm going to show you basically how they lit that terrorist ISIS video using the 2 Japanese prisoners. And you can see dark here, light here, but they also had light in front of them. So we're going to put our 3rd light on. This is basic 3-point lighting. And now you can see, and we can adjust the intensity of the light, but you can see there's still shadows on the left and right. Now, and so we've got 2 different shots, and we'll shoot this, we'll record this on tape so you can see the difference between the 2, so we could show how you could actually make 2 different shots out of 1, or they could even have 2 cameras. And I think they were using 2 cameras at the same time with their pre-recorded message. And you can't tell if the guy's talking or not, so that could easily be pre-recorded. They could have a fan going. But most assuredly, these guys were not in a outside environment. They were doing it inside. And the big thing is you can't do this stuff without some technological know-how and some funding. And now, yes, ISIS does have funding. They get it from selling oil, other terrorist activities, they're looting, but they got their seed money from the CIA. But it also takes know-how to do this. You're not going to have the typical ISIS jihadi knowing how to come in here and set up a chroma key setting. I mean, we've got this system here, and it took us a few months to get this down pat. So they had to bring in experts, get people to work with them. Those experts, probably from the CIA or some other entity that's working with these guys.
And I question some of the shadows that we saw on the Japanese beheading videos. Just didn't look right to me. And once again, I'm not sure whether it was faked or not, but it certainly looks possible.
And if you think it's hard to make a fake ISIS beheading, 6 months ago 2 Turkish teens, with the budget of $20, fooled both YouTube and Dailymotion with a faked beheading that was edited by Zendrius. All Zendrius added was nasheed music and the ISIS flag watermark. Something that anyone can do.
Neden burada olduğunu biliyor musun lan? Hayır. Siz gerçek Müslüman değilsin. Değilsiniz.
I will make another video showing how we faked these videos, step by step. The CIA is obviously following what's being posted on the internet on YouTube, and that people were exposing the faked solo Jihadi John videos. That forced them to do something really special. They gathered a dozen Mossad agents and mercenaries, had them grow a beard over the span of 3 months, and performed a large-scale fake beheading. You will notice that in all the real Islamic State videos, they used different clothing and gear. But in this staged performance, they all use identical gear and masks, given to them by the CIA. The knives are identical too. They just couldn't be bothered. It would be extremely easy for the Mossad and CIA to get hold of 20 Arab-looking men for this video. Israel prisons are full of Arab terrorists who they could release in order to make this video. The supply of actors is nearly unlimited. There is no evidence that any of these men are Islamic State fighters, and there is no evidence that any of these victims were Syrian military or pilots. No one probably knows who any of these people are. But it is likely that we won't see any of them ever again, except Jihadi John, because he still remains useful. And if you think this video could not be faked, just watch any of the modern slasher movies. The throat-cutting sequence includes CGI animated blood and probably 20 different camera cuts. But YouTube does not allow that to be shown. So I'll have to show you other editing glitches and mistakes I have spotted. Here are some.
Please keep this in mind, that the leader of this ISIS is a former U.S. detainee that President Barack Hussein Obama allowed to be let go in 2009.
What about the supposed caliph of the Islamic State? Al-Baghdadi is a puppet to the cabal that run the US, and he will do exactly what he is told to do. If he doesn't, they can easily track him down and deal with him, so if he wants to live, he will continue to listen to his CIA masters. Be assured that ISIS will not be stopped. This is the beginning of what Illuminati agent Albert Pike called the final social cataclysm. When the Illuminati cannot make up a reason to destroy governments with the United States military, they simply find and then arm and fund groups that can do the killing on their behalf. They did it with Hitler, and now they are doing it with ISIS.
World wars change worlds, and if you have a global agenda, then global problems allow you to offer global solutions. And the idea all along has been to have a third world war to complete the transformation.